Let's talk about average net worth. I don't know if you're like me, but one of the things I love to do is see how I am doing compared to my peers. So we're going to start the daily financial news with some data captured from a Fed survey in 2023. We are going to go through the average and the median net worth by different ages. And what I want to ask you is a simple question. Are you ahead of the game or are you behind? Again, it doesn't really matter where you are today. Just understand where you are and how you will make changes going forward. I strongly suggest owning assets, preferably assets that cash flow day one that you can hold for the long term. But let's get into the numbers. So if you are younger than 35 years old, the median or middle net worth is $39,000 and the average is $183,000. The average is obviously pulled by some extreme net worths of of individuals in that age bracket. But again, if you are younger than 35, are you ahead of the game or are you behind? Again, median is 39,000 and average is 183. Now, if you are 35 to 45 years old, or 44 years old, 35 to 44, the median is 135K. The average is 549K. Again, ask yourself, are you ahead or behind? Now, for my age group, this is my age group, 45 to 54. The median is 247,000 and the average is just shy of 1 million at 975,000. Thankfully, I am ahead of both of those numbers. If you are 55 to 64, the median is 364 grand. The average is 1.56 million. If you are 65 to 74, the median is 409 and the average is 1.79. Now, the last age group here, 75 plus, median 335K and the average is 1.62. So again, folks, ask yourself a question. If you want to do me a favor and get the comments going, just go ahead and say ahead or behind in the comments. Maybe we'll get these comment sections buzzing and we will see what the community is doing. Again, there's both the median and the average. At the end of the day, folks, hopefully something you've learned over the years of watching the channel. The key to getting wealthy is owning assets for a long time, owning assets for a decade, cash flow day one, all of the stuff that we talk about here. We did get existing home sales at the end of last week. I think it was on Thursday. Didn't really get time to digest the numbers, so let me go through them. Existing home sales were up month on month, 1.2%, and up 1.7% year on year. I got to tell you, my August call of a bottom is really starting to feel good. It was risky at the time, but it is proven to be very, very good at the moment. Price, again, up. Median price up year on year, 2.1%. Again, daring the crash bros to be wrong yet again. But the numbers behind the numbers, I think, are interesting. First-time home buyers was 27% the previous month, now 32%. So up. That, in my opinion, is a good thing. Investors, 17% down to 16%. Cash buyers went from 27% to 29%, so a little bit more. Distressed, this would be foreclosure, short sales, things of that nature, stayed the same at 2%. And days on market are up 29 to 34. Again, folks, remember, best deals of the year between Halloween and New Year's Day. Never forget, ask the sellers for credits, write disrespectful offers, and I can't stress follow up. For those of you in our school community, I do want to let you know that we got confirmation from Jason Pritchard that he will be giving his hands-on session today at 8 o'clock. So about 26 minutes. On Wednesday, he talked about how he uses Property Radar to generate lists. He offered up a hands-on session, which you all wanted. And Jason is the man. He agreed to do it this Sunday morning. So we owe him a debt of gratitude. But yes, in school, you will see an invite for 8 a.m. Pacific or 26 minutes. Get your notepad ready. And let's see if we can't help you get some list generation going. We do have some predictions for this Thanksgiving weekend now that the government shutdown is over, that there will actually be a record number of travelers this Thanksgiving. So again, more sign that consumers are spending, but on experiences and the like. Let's talk about some economic numbers next week. They start on Tuesday. Again, we got to be very careful with these government data because they're often delayed, so they are a month old. For example, on Tuesday, we will get retail sales, but this will not be for October. It will be for September. So I think a lot of people are going to be distracted and not understand that this data is old. We will also get PPI, again, for September. We will get pending home sales, which will be an October number, and Case Shiller. Wednesday, again, we will be having Thanksgiving this week, so weekly claims will be coming a day early. They will be coming on Wednesday. Thanksgiving will be, of course, Thursday. Hope you're having an amazing family time or whatever you choose to do. And then on Friday, we will get Chicago PMI. I did see a very interesting chart that the doomers are pointing at, and that is the fact that new home prices are now below existing home prices for the first time in 50 years. I think this first time since 1971. Now, again, you can let the doomers scare you with pretty charts, or you could step back and ask yourself a simple question. What is the story? Now, I would tell you there's likely at least 3 stories going on behind why new home sales are cheaper than existing home sales. 1, you need to remember that new homes are being built that are smaller, right? They are simply smaller square foot, and it costs less to build. Average square foot of a new home sold is down something about 250 square feet just from last year, which was down from the previous year about 100 square feet. Number 2, this is a big one. Home builders, new construction, need to sell. Existing homeowners, in a lot of cases, don't. That is why you see wish pricing. That is why you see delistings. That is why you see cancellations. A lot of homeowners who own homes would like to sell, but they are not getting their prices. So they just take it off the market. There is no distress. Home builders need to sell. So they are doing rate buy downs and giveaways and this, that, and the other. So they are selling. And again, I would tell you they're not starting to build. So we're going to have a problem in a few months, but that's nonetheless. And then lastly, I don't know if this is true in your area, but a lot of new home construction are in, how should we say, cheaper areas, farther and farther away. So again, the price point is lower. So I think there's lots of reasons that explains why new homes are cheaper than existing, even though the doomers want to make it something big and scary. We did get a report about number of mortgages underwater, thanks to Lance Lambert. In April of this year, we had roughly 1% of homes underwater. Today, 1.6%. This is obviously concentrated in VA and FHA loans. Why? Because VA loans could be 0 down, and FHA could be as little as 3.5%. Again, this is obviously concentrated in 2023 through 2025 vintages. We've had a lot of people join school here recently. I want to read you a quick list of names the last 2 days. David, Carlos, Adam, Marty, Marcelinho, Bobby, KL, Rayalon, and Christopher. I know I mispronounced some of those. It was not intentional. I did my best. But yes, we had 4, 8, 9 folks join in the last couple of days. So welcome. Make sure you introduce yourself, get active in the forums, find the accountability groups, and have a good time. Now let's close out with Fed speak. I got a whole page of notes about the Fed. Right now, the Fed odds of a rate cut in December are 54%. So they come off the bottom of 40 up to 54. We got Fed President Logan. Data centers will keep boosting electricity prices. I think this is going to be the story of 2026 and maybe 2027. Obviously, all these AI chips require electricity. And I think you're going to see a lot of cities and towns say, no bueno, we do not want a data center here. We do not want our citizens paying higher electricity, which could be a significant impediment to the rollout of these capital investments. Again, if you can't power them, the chips are just bricks. So something to watch for next year. Fed President Logan, you can firmly put in the hawk camp. I will find it difficult to cut again in December. October rate cut was not warranted, said Logan. Can you believe that? Not warranted. Woo! I expect the Fed balance sheet to grow before long. So again, could that be QE coming? Fed President Moran says the financial conditions that matter most is housing. Housing. So again, Moran's the one that wants to cut by 50. Fed President Collins says hesitant to get too far ahead of rate cuts while inflation is still high. Call her hawk. Fed President Williams, downside risk to employment has increased. Again, what I think we've been seeing for the last 6 or 8 weeks is there's somewhere about 4 Fed presidents that want to cut. I think there's honestly 8 Fed presidents that don't want to cut. And then you've got 4 people kind of wishy-washy. A December rate cut, I think as I made the call last week, I'm going to say right now, no. I do not think the Fed will cut in December. Do I think they should cut in December? Yes. I think the biggest problem is the fact that the employment data was delayed. It's now not going to be shown until the 16th, and the Fed meets on the 9th and 10th. I think I said this on Friday. I strongly suspect that the Fed should postpone their meeting 1 week. Why make a critical decision when you don't have the most important data? And then the last thing we got is Fed President Goolsbee. I believe rates will settle well below the current level. He goes on to say in some time. Again, last thing Goolsbee says is the official data is a complete mess because the lights were turned out in the shutdown. Folks, at the end of the day, again, I do not think we will get a December rate cut. I do think a December rate cut is warranted. It will be yet another mistake by Jerome Powell and this existing Fed. We can't get to May of next year soon enough, and that's obviously when the transition will happen. We do have a congratulations going out. Arthur, congratulations on your next deal. Again, folks, don't forget, I still send these out. I still have a lot of fun. Black cards are for your next deal. We do have gold cards for your first deal. If I've helped you in any way and you want one of these, reach out to me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, and I will send you one of these and give you a shout out on the Daily Financial News. Don't forget, folks, that Steadily is the sponsor for the Daily Financial News. If you are a landlord or thinking about it, go get a quote, see if they can help you. And of course, join school. We are helping everyday wealth builders every single day. 9 accountability groups, active forum, 506, I think, this morning. Wealth builders go in the same direction. And if you're in school, I'll see you in 17 minutes with the one and only Jason Pritchard talking about how you can use Property Radar to generate lists and build pipeline. Take care. Hope you have a great day. Later.